A while ago, I dumped some furniture at the front strip, and literally within an hour, there was some guy there with his truck picking that furniture up. And he was an older guy. And so this was furniture for me that was old, it was past its use by date. It was a couch with an armchair, it had holes in it, and really for me, I needed to clear it out. So I put it to Nature Strip and hoping someone would pick it up, because it just saved me the work of having to dump it. Within an hour, there was this older guy who's come with a truck, and he looked at the furniture and he was picking that furniture up and putting it in his truck. And I just happened to be at the front, and we started to get into a chat. And what was interesting, I asked him, I said, so what do you do with this furniture? Like for me, I want to get rid of it because I want to put the new furniture in my house. For him, he's taking it. I said, what are you doing with it? And we had a chat, and what he does, he updates the furniture. He recreates them, updates them. He adds a lot of value to it. He makes them almost like antiques. And he showed me some of his pictures on his sites, and then he resells them. And he sells them for more than what I originally bought it for, which was extraordinary. This person's extraordinarily skilled. And when I saw some of his pictures, he was a real artist. Like he'd show me some real bad furniture that I thought was really for the tip, where he had just picked it up, recreated it, because he's got the skill sets to recreate something and then add a lot of value to it and then put it back on the market, and then people are allowed to go and buy it. And when I saw some of the work that he had done, he was showing me pictures of the work that he did. I was like, wow. And he was showing me that, those before and after photos. And I was looking at the furniture. I was like, oh my God, you created that from that. My God, this guy's a genius. And so, why am I telling you this story? Because I see this in a lot of people. And I feel like, especially a lot of my students, I feel like as a teacher, as a deep learning teacher, I am doing something similar, or I'm trying to do something similar. Because a lot of my students that come to me, a lot of my students that do my courses, they feel like that old furniture. They feel like that furniture at the Nature Strip, that where they've been dumped, they feel useless. A lot of them have got depression, anxiety. A lot of them, their own personal self-value is so low. They feel they're not worthy in the community because no one's willing to pay for them. I get a lot of employees who have lost their jobs in their 50s and in their 60s, and they feel like they're useless, and what am I going to do? I'm not skillful. And in many ways, when I thought about that story, I thought about this, because a lot of my students are like that. A lot of my students feel like that dumped furniture at the front Nature Strip. And I like to pick them up and change them and reform them and bring them back even more valuable than they were before. And that's my job. And that's what I specialize in. And that's what I've been doing for the last 6 years, in helping people do that. And in many ways, and a lot of my students, they come back more valuable, they come back making more money. And I'm talking about people that are in their 60s. I'm talking people that are in their 70s. I'm talking people that are kind of think they've retired, they're gone. They think in themselves, they're gone, I can't do anything, life's so bad. All of a sudden they do that turnaround, they do that switch. And in many ways I feel like that furniture maker, because my job is to create a furniture, in other words, is to create so much value to that individual that they go from that old furniture at the front strip to something that's really valuable, more valuable than the original. And that's the point of that story. And I want you to think about this. Every human being, every single human being has genius potential. Okay, you have the brain model, you have the feelings and emotions, you have the data, you have the experiences. It's just that no one's ever shown you how to put that together. What the system created, the education system, intentionally or unintentionally, I don't know, it created a fixed negative mindset for most people. In other words, most people came out of a system having self-labeled themselves at a very young age, which limited their choices of opportunity going forward. In other words, they said, these are my opportunities, and people thought, well, this is my level of intelligence, this is my level of skills, I will never go there, I'll always be around here, these are my choices. But that was wrong. It was a flawed system. A fixed negative mindset amplifies downwards. A growth positive mindset amplifies upwards. And that's what the system should have created, a growth positive mindset. Because a growth positive mindset takes the brain from this negative, angry, victimhood mentality to a joyful, ecstatic, forward-thinking, positive mindset and mentality. And one of the things that I do in my classes, and one of the things that I teach in my classes, because as a deep learner, the first thing we try to do, and the first thing that I work on with my students, is to help them discover their ecstatic desire. And ecstatic desire is not just some desire, it's not just some goal, it's not just something to make me feel good. Ecstatic desire is the ultimate desire. It's a moment where you can't stop thinking about it. It's the moment where you find your ultimate purpose. It's the moment that every time, every single moment, every action of your day is focused on that very deliberately. It's the moment that gives you so much joyfulness and ecstasy in your brain, and your body feels amazing. It's very deliberate. And when you find that ecstatic desire, that joyfulness, that ecstatic moment, when you discover it, the moment you just have to discover what it is. Because most people, unfortunately, have never discovered it. Most people don't know what the desire is. Most people have never met their ecstatic desire. It's always been manufactured by the system according to what the system tells you should like. Because that's what the system told you. Fixed negative mindset, stay in your job, do 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week on a job that you hate for a paycheck so you can have a little bit of a freedom on the weekend, and then you've got to do it all over again and over again for 30, 40 years. And all of a sudden, you never met the genius potential that you are. The only way you can get to genius potential, the only way you can access that genius gene inside you is in the position of joyfulness and ecstasy. You can't access that gene from victimhood. You can't access it from anger and negativity. You cannot access it there. When you're angry and you're feeling envious and jealous of others, you can't access that genius gene inside you. You have that genius gene. It's inside you. You can access that genius gene, but you've got to follow a process to get to it. And it can't be the current process you're on. And one of the things that we work on in my classes is passion, hobbies, creativity, problem solving. And we work on a point system and a point system. And this is what I teach. On a point system, I times it by 1,000 to get 1,000 points, because the moment you get 1,000 points on average, and I've seen this with my students, on average, the moment you get 1,000 points, that is the moment you would have discovered your ecstatic desire. Because the moment you discover what your ecstatic desire is, that's 90% of the work. That's everything. Chasing it is the easy part. Chasing it's the fun part. So we have to do actions. We have to do actions. And it's a combination of all this. And it's amazing. People think, oh, education's so boring. People think, oh, why would I want to go and do an education course? Why would I want to go and do this and study? And people say, oh, I don't want to do a learning course. No, this is fun. This is actually fun. And this will actually change your life long term. There's a reason why 99% of most courses, online courses, don't work long term. They'll give you a cheap dopamine hit initially. They'll make you feel good for 2 or 3, 4 weeks, maybe a month, 2 months. And that's it. You go back to where you were, if not worse. Because sometimes it's even worse because you think, oh, well, nothing works. Wrong. You've got the wrong mindset. Because we're changing the mindset from a fixed negative mindset to a positive growth mindset. We're switching it over. And we're switching it over by finding that real passion, by finding those real habits, by using our creativity and by using our problem solving skills. And when you combine all that and you're doing it consistently every single day, you're making it a habit. In other words, you're having a lot of fun every single day. Eventually you'll earn enough points to find and discover your ecstatic desire. Consistency, bite-sized consistency, little bit by little bit by little bit, you will eventually get there. Now, I've made that 1,000 points because on average most people get there around 1,000 points. Sometimes people get there at 900 points. Sometimes people get there at 1,100 points. But somewhere around there, you would have discovered that ecstatic desire. That's the whole ball game. You cannot be a deep learner without an ecstatic desire. And the moment you discover that ecstatic desire, you've already changed the brain mechanism already, because you've actioned to discover the ecstatic desire. You've created actions, which is what I teach, to discover your ecstatic desire. And all of a sudden, your brain has now a deep learning mindset with an ecstatic desire, and all you now have to do is the same thing towards your ecstatic desire. And that combination of passion, hobbies, creativity, problem solving, timesing it by 1,000, and then doing that again towards, not only does your life become fun and passionate and exciting, but you're going to notice, just like that furniture, you have changed and transformed into something so much more valuable, even more valuable than what you were when you were in your younger days, even more valuable than you ever even imagined. You will have transformed every aspect of your life, and I've seen this, but the habits are going to get you there. People come with me with depression and anxiety, and they've tried everything. They've tried pharmaceuticals, they've tried psychologists and psychiatrists, they've tried everything, and they're still miserable. And I can tell you why. Ecstatic desire. They don't have a target. And when people say to people, usually say, oh, have a goal, have a passion, have a target. But what if it's the wrong passion? What if it's the wrong goal? What if it's the wrong target? What if it's the wrong desire? It has to be your desire. And that's a discovery. That's why every single piece of furniture, going back to that story, every single piece of furniture, he found a way to create it and recreate it and make it more valuable than the original. That's the beauty. He made it more valuable than the original when it was brand new. When someone's dumping furniture in the front lawn strip, it means it's not valuable. It means there's no need for it. So the next stage for that is to throw it in the rubbish bin. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They don't feel valued, especially people that lose their jobs, especially people in their 50s and 60s that I know, students that have lost their job, they feel low value, they feel low self-esteem because they feel like that dumped furniture at the front. No one wants to pay me for doing any work because I don't feel valuable. The thing is, you have this inner genius. No one's ever shown you how to get to it. And yes, it's fun, and yes, it's about being consistent, and yes, it's about changing habits. And this thing that I hear a lot, but I don't have time. Especially people that I know who are already in jobs and they find time, they make time. When people say they don't have time, I know people, the same people spend 2 or 3 hours on social media. There's time available. It's just that you then need to find a way to invest that time. In other words, spend the time, don't waste it. The time is available, even if you've got a full-time job. I know people that are single parents that are raising kids that are finding time because you need to create the habit to do this, because the habit and the practices are going to get you to that moment.